Astroventures, welcome back. If you're new to this astrophotography channel, my name is George, and this is going to be my recommendations for astrophotography targets for the month of October. Do apologize if you hear the noise in the background. I've got the 3D printer running, making some little handouts for the upcoming, October 31st Halloween. So anyway, let's get right into this. So looking at it for the month, what we're going to be looking at is our shooting window will be between October 15th and October 31st, Halloween night. And the reason being, and how I come up with that, is on each one of those nights you're going to have at least 4 hours of shooting through the night to be able to capture some targets. And then as we get to the actual new moon, which this particular month of October here, we are going to fall on, let's see here, the new moon is October 21st, which is coincidentally, that's a Tuesday. But as I said, we're going to be able to shoot from October 15th all the way through until the 31st, and that will give us the minimum of 4 hours that I like to shoot for as being a night that's usable for astrophotography. So let's jump out of timeanddate.com. This is where you can see moonrise, moonset, and all of that good stuff. However, I really do prefer using various apps for the purpose of looking at the moon there. Okay, so let's get started here. And right off the bat, the first target I want to get to and take a look at with you is going to be M31, the Andromeda galaxy. So let's go ahead and jump into this. M31, of course, an oldie but a goodie. And this particular month of October, again, usually most places you've still got some although the nights are cold, they're not freezing yet. We're not into winter in a lot of places. But here we go, M31. It starts off the night, and I'm on October 15th, 2100. That's putting us at 9 o'clock in the evening. And right off the bat, we're looking at Andromeda being right up there at 50 degrees in the sky. So we're above that 30 that I look for. We've got nice dark skies in this region. It's really high, and you're going to have a chance to get this one all night. And this is also the #1 beginner target that I recommend for somebody wanting that deep sky target, but you don't know what you're doing. And the reason being is this particular target is really forgiving, and you're going to be able to shoot this off of a crop sensor camera. And I always base my focal length recommendations off of a stock camera. But with that stock camera, you're going to be able to shoot between 100 and 300 millimeters, and Andromeda is going to work out absolutely beautiful for you. And bang for buck, you got a galaxy over here, you got this little galaxy down in here, and then you've got M31. The more hours you can get on this, the greater the wispies extend out from Andromeda, and this is an absolute go-to. Now if you get tired of shooting Andromeda, you've got its neighbor not too far away, M33, and let me see, here we go. And well, it's not grabbing, so let me actually punch it in. M33, which is our Triangulum. There we go. Now Stellarium's got a hold of it. M33, Triangulum galaxy. This is the second largest galaxy that's in our night sky. And with this one here, you're going to want to shoot 500 to 600 millimeters on a stock camera. Now, one of the challenges that you have with the Triangulum as opposed to Andromeda is that Triangulum's kind of messy looking. And even with good data, it's never quite as structurally clean as what you might see Andromeda. However, it does give you something else, and here you go. You've got this beautiful structure, and with Triangulum, we're actually seeing a little more top down on it. with the arms coming out, but there's so much stuff within it that it's kind of a messy one. So if you go after Triangulum, don't beat yourself up too hard over it, because like I said, it's a bit of a messy galaxy, but it is the second largest, and it's an additional galaxy for you to go after. Okay, next we're going to go visit, and those are two great beginner targets and a great place to get started. Let's turn on some constellations here, and we're going to jump over to our friend Cassiopeia. Cassiopeia still sitting there in the night sky. Now Cassiopeia, as the night comes, or as the night goes on, I'm going to jump over here and adjust the time frame. We're starting off at 9 o'clock. You can see it's arcing around there, but staying above, and here's our 30 degrees above the horizon that I like to have. It doesn't drop below that until 7 p.m. locally, 7 a.m. locally, but 6 a.m. for myself is when complete dark ends, which stays above. So you're going to have Cassiopeia all night. It's going to be in good sky. And let me see here. Let's get this back on the 15th. Everything's going out of whack. Here we go. There we go. All right, so we've got Cassiopeia back at our starting point right there at 9 o'clock in the evening, or 2100. And Cassiopeia's got a lot of great stuff that you can shoot all night. And first I'm going to start off with IC 1805. Let's turn on those deep sky targets. We've got IC 1805, which is the Heart Nebula. We've got IC 1848, which is the Soul down here, or Baby Nebula. And then we also have the Fish Head, which is the top portion, and that's IC 1795. It's the top portion of the Heart Nebula. All of this is hydrogen alpha. Astromod gets you a stronger image. However, the hydrogen alpha is strong enough in both of these that you can shoot them with a stock camera. And you're going to have a focal length with these three targets from as wide as 100 millimeters all the way out to 500, depending on how close that you want to get in. But all of this is a lot of great opportunity. And again, for those with stock cameras, this is strong enough that you too can capture some good stuff in the hydrogen alpha. But there's plenty in here. And if you had a longer focal length, you can actually zoom in. There's a little additional piece down here. IC 1871 is not quite lining up there, but that's an additional little piece. But honestly, if you're shooting wide, you're going to pick up all of this stuff. There's lots of great stuff. Staying in our friend Cassiopeia here, let's zoom out a bit. You have IC 63. This one here goes to Cassiopeia. Mentioned this one before. You got a bit of reflection here in the blue. You also have the hydrogen alpha in there. This one does like plenty of time on target. You're going to want to be shooting at 500 millimeters. And it's just a great target. The longer that you can shoot on it, the better. It does help with Astromod, but as I said, there is also some reflection within this. So, you know, go for it if you haven't done it before. And then let's take a look here at the Pac-Man Nebula, still in our friend Cassiopeia. This one here, we are looking at 500 millimeters. Astromod definitely helps because you're going to be able to get more of the outer extremities. If you were to shoot it with a stock camera, you're going to get the stronger center. But it is available to both Astromod and stock. And like I said, just with the Astromod, you're going to get extension out from some of the more faint stuff that only an Astromod is going to pick up. So that's taking a look at our friend Cassiopeia there. We'll leave her for the moment. And we're going to jump over to Cepheus. And within Cepheus, let's go ahead and punch in so it frames up. First one I want to hit is IC 1396, and that's the Elephant Trunk Nebula, and we'll go up high here. And this one's going to be up with you most of the night. We'll take a quick look so you can see where Elephant Trunk is. And again, I like to stay above 30 degrees in the sky, and so here's where our 30 is at the moment. Let's just watch this move around. So starting off at 2100 or 9 o'clock, there's 22, 23, midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and then 4 a.m. we finally crossed the 30-degree point. So again, you're going to be able to get plenty of time on this target. So elephant's trunk, with that, you're going to be looking at shooting anywhere from 1 to 300 millimeters will work with this one. And an Astro mod is definitely going to help with this one because the hydrogen alpha is not as strong in all of this. So this definitely leans more towards our Astro mod, folks. And then next one, this is for everybody. Let's jump over to the Iris Nebula, and that one here. Love this one. Lots of beautiful blue in there, reflection, or I'm not even sure that it's necessarily reflection as much as the light from these distant stars passing through. With that one, the longer you can shoot on this, the more you're going to pick up all of these dark clouds that are around it. But with the strength of the stars in the center and the blue that's here, stock camera can hit this one up, and you can come away with something that you'd be very happy with. And then again, the longer you can run, the more of these dark wisps that you're going to pick up through the night. And then next, let's jump over to... One of these days I got to go after this over here. I've never shot that, but it looks interesting. Anyway, let's jump back on and stop getting distracted by the squirrel. Next one that we want to go after is we're going to go NGC 7822, and that's going to take us over to the question mark nebula. Again, we're off of Cepheus. I always refer to it as the house. The house is upside down right now. And then looking at it in the question mark nebula, Astro mod is definitely a bonus, a plus. However, there is strong enough hydrogen alpha within this that a stock camera with enough time can certainly pick this up. And the question mark, you're looking at anywhere from 250 to 500 millimeters on this one. The reason for the wide range is if you are shooting Astro mod, down on that wider end, the 250, you can pick up further out and get more of the hydrogen alpha wispies that are extending out. Wispy, that's our word of the day. You can get more of those hydrogen alpha wispies going out farther. And then if you wanted to go on the longer end, more towards the 500 millimeter, oftentimes people will focus on the structure here at the center. Lastly, over at Cepheus, we're going to jump over to the Wizard Nebula, which is NGC 7380. And here we go over on the Wizard, and this one is definitely going to be something for the Astro mod. What I do like in this one is there is a lot of structure. There's a lot of contrast within this one, so it's a great target to go after. And that's going to be on the long end of 500 millimeters. But yeah, this is an Astro mod one, long focal length, but great structure within it. So I recommend go for it. Okay, some late risers that I want to mention. Let's zoom back out here. And late risers meaning they're coming out of the east. First one I want to take a look at is going to be NGC. Let's see here, 1499. And that's going to be the California Nebula. And here you go. Now, starting off at 9 o'clock at night, it's down at 15 degrees. However, by 2200, 10 o'clock, we've jumped all the way up to 25 degrees, close enough to my 30 that I like to be at. So you're not losing much in the night sky. Sure, we can start shooting at 9, but this one, you know, you're giving up an hour. But here it is. The California Nebula is a pretty good sized nebula. You're looking at a focal length again on a on a crop sensor of about 100 to 200 millimeters on a crop sensor. And if you have Astro mod, that's great because again, you'll pick up more length out of it as you are able to pick up the fainter regions. However, with the stock camera, there is a strong enough intensity that you'll be able to pick up the California Nebula. So 1 to 200 millimeters, but Astro mod does help. Another one that is, let's see here, we're going to jump this back a little bit. So this is at 2200. I'm going to bump the time to 2230, and we're going after, let's see here, M45, which is Pleiades right next door. And Pleiades at 1030 has crossed 25 degrees. It's approaching the 30 pretty soon. But this target is so bright and so large. Focal length anywhere from 200 to 400 is going to be great. 400 is going to be a little bit of a squeeze. You may have to back off a little bit. But I mentioned the 200 because many people will have some faster lens, say as the 70 to 200 2.8 lens. Don't shoot at 2.8. Set it to 3.2 for an aperture. You're going to correct some of the coma issues that you can, the chromatic aberrations that you would get shooting wide open. So jump it to an aperture of 3.2, and there on that 200 millimeter end, you're still zoomed in close enough. You've got that faster lens shooting at 3.2. You'll be able to come up with a beautiful target. Now on this particular target, although it's bright, you'll pick it up rather quickly. I do encourage as many hours as you can rack up on it, because the more hours you get, the more wispies that you're going to get extending further and further out. And I've had more and more structure appear further and further out. I really love coming back to this. This is a great beginner target. I would say this is probably my #1 pick as a beginner target because it's so easy, so forgiving, and gives so much back. So go for this one. Shoot on that 200 end. Like I said, fast aperture 3.2. You'll be able to get some great stuff, and then rack up the time on this one. And the fact that you're starting at 22:30, so you're only giving up an hour and a half. And I know for myself here in northern Utah, the night doesn't end for me until 6 a.m. So there's a lot of hours on this and some great stuff. Now, challenge target for the month, and I'm going to go after this one. I'm excited to give it a try, but you're going to need a good amount of focal length on this one. It's NGC 1333, and this goes to the Embryo Nebula, and it's a tiny little one out here. I've never shot it. I've never seen anybody share images of it, but I am excited for it because we've got plenty of reflection nebula over here. Looks like there's some hydrogen alpha that's in there. You got this beautiful star here. It's even at 1,000 millimeters, it's going to be a small target, but I'm excited to go for it and see what I can pull off. If you have ever shot the Embryo Nebula, I would love to see over on our Facebook group, Astro Venture DSLR. I would love for you to share this one because this just looks really cool here on Stellarium. So I want to see what it is that I can pull off and what I can capture. But like I said, you're definitely going to need something with a lot of focal length because 600 millimeters just isn't enough. I'm looking at capturing this one at about 1,200 millimeters, and I think it's minimally sized to be able to do something with it. But if you've captured it, please share it. So there you have it. I moved quickly through this because there were so many targets this month. But this is going to be a great month because there are so many options, and we're not quite to the full cold of late fall and into winter yet, but we do have those cooler, longer nights. So for myself, 9 to 6, 9 at night till 6 in the morning, I got lots of opportunity to shoot. So if you like what you're seeing here at Astro Venture and you like my recommendations on targets here, consider liking, subscribing, ringing the bell, and sharing this video out to others. And we would love to see you, as I said, over at our Facebook group, Astro Venture DSLR. And that challenge target, if you go after it, the Embryo Nebula, please share it. I would love to see what you got, and I'd love to hear the story behind it and the tools you use to capture it. So until next time, I wish you clear skies and uneventful nights.